Hello and welcome to Weekend Investing Daily Bites. We are shooting episode number 99 today. We are continuing with yesterday's series on the trader's mindset. So we'll go through some of the pointers which traders usually fumble, and how to get a better handle on your trading mindset. First, a look at the markets. So markets took the cues from the Fed minutes quite seriously. The Fed last night reported that they are going to continue the easy money, and there's no change in the current outlook for reducing the bond buying and offering enormous liquidity at virtually no cost. So the party continues for now at least. Real estate, which was up dramatically yesterday, was again up dramatically today with Godrej Properties, DLF, and several other smaller companies also joining the run. So you can see here this week reality is up 16.6%. Enormous move, sudden move, triggered by, I think, the Godrej announcement of having sold 500 crores worth of flats in a day. That I think has triggered this move, although it could be something else in case I don't know. Bank Nifty was another area where we saw huge gains, more than 2% gains on Bank Nifty. Power stocks were also running hard. Infrastructure, metal stocks took a leaf out of the current uptrend and forgot about all the huge losses we saw in metal just few days back. So it seems that weak hands have been shaken off and that we are moving further up. IT stocks were up. Auto stocks are looking quite good. Several of the auto stocks are looking like very near a breakout. So all in all, market is and the Nifty hit a new high. So we are a bit overbought for sure, or let me rephrase that, we are quite overbought, but nobody can really say how long this can continue. So it can remain overbought for a long period of time, or it may top out tomorrow. Nobody can really put a finger on that. In terms of the indices, Nifty, CNX 200, CNX 500, and some of the small and mid caps indexes also were up 1 to 1.5%. In terms of weekend investing small cases, there were some exceptional gains on Nifty Next 5010, NNF 10, and some 0.5% to 1% gain on many others. MI ATH2, MI 25, MI 35, they were underperforming today. In terms of the performance till date for the financial year, you can see that the larger caps are in the range of 20%, 22% on the indices, whereas small and mid caps are in the range of 28 to 33%. And in weekend investing cases, which are the large cap small cases, so 30% on NNF 10, 26% on LTCNX 200. These are primarily the large ones. And then of course mid cap ones, mid and small cap and all cap ones are all over the place, ranging from 22% to 49 to, even if I take the ATH2 financial year back test also in place, it goes to 72 also. But more or less we have beaten most of the indices so far, and things are looking all right. Yesterday we talked about 8 parameters for traders mindset, and we will continue there. So number 9 in the series is revenge trade, and most of these things you have already heard, read, probably have imbibed in your trading also, but there is no harm if somebody gets to learn something new out of this. Maybe it is not for the beginner investor or trader, but so revenge trading is one very common aspect that is seen in new traders at least is where you lose a trade and you want to make up that money very, very quickly in the next trade. And in order to do that, you typically blow off your rules. You don't care about the position size because your mind is stuck in that absolute number that I've lost so many thousand or so many lakhs. I need to make that money back. So that is a sort of a revenge trade you are taking, that I've lost this, now I have to take a revenge from the market and get it back. So we need to get out of this thought process. Take each trade independently. Know that depending upon the expectancy of your system, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% trades will go wrong, and that is part of the game. So losing a trade should not make you emotionally charged up so that you try to get a revenge and not even wait for your setup, but just go and buy something or sell something and try to make that up. So don't do that. Number 10 is watching out for warning signs. A lot of times the market is telling us in advance what may happen, but we overlook all that in the ride that we are having on our stock or index or whatever we are trading. So for instance, currently the market is extremely overbought. Now, while if you are let's say a long trader, you should maintain your longs, but you could add some protection to your naked longs. For instance, maybe like a few percentage of your profits that you are already incurred, you can buy as insurance in some puts or some other structure like that. So that is the way of sort of hedging a bit of your returns. In stock portfolios, in case you are feeling that the market is going up vertically, you could take off some money. There's no harm or guilt or regret in booking some profit. Yes, you may not maximize your returns if the market keeps going up, but you also need to look at some rationalization of not wanting to wait till the last minute, right? So look out for those warning signs from various factors, from overseas markets, from domestic numbers, from various technical parameters if you're watching, and see how the same thing has played out in the past. Like today I saw a tweet where it was comparing the RSI of all such moves. And the outcome of next 12 months whenever Nifty has been in such a overbought position has been mildly negative. So that is a warning sign. Of course, it need not make you give up all your positions, but it is something to be kept in mind. Number 11 is use your head too. It does not mean that you were not using your head otherwise, but try to use your head more and listen less to others. That is the crux of this point, is that just don't go by hearsay. Somebody is telling you what to buy, somebody is telling you what to sell. You bought your own position because of your own setup, but somebody is saying no, this is a wrong trade, so you got out without even waiting for your stop loss. So using your head is very important. You can listen to everybody else, but rationalize all those thoughts based on the system that you're following and see if they fit your thought process and if you were going wrong somewhere. So listen to everybody, but do what the message your head tells you to do. Number 12 is, a lot of people are looking for this holy grail. They will keep on backtesting. They will keep on tweaking it. Thousands of backtests they will do to find that one strategy that will make them the most returns. And guess what will happen once you find that? The next year that may not perform. and it may not perform for next 3 years, and you will be most disappointed. So know that there is no holy grail. A lot of strategies which have positive expectancy will do well. There is no one good strategy, or all others are bad. Most strategies will do well if they are designed properly, if they are having positive expectancy. The crux is how disciplined you are in executing them. That is the clincher. The strategy is not the key part. As I often say, strategies may be like 20% of the game, but the key part is what happens to your discipline and behavior when you execute it. So don't keep running after one formula or the other, trying to find that. The next point is dump the salary mentality. So trading, investing is like a business. It is not a salary. You will not get it every month. So having that mentality that I need to get money every month. You may be a fantastic trader and you may be making money every month, but having that expectation that I must make at least this much every month, that is the kind of mentality you have to give up, because there is no linearity in the markets. And most likely, unless you are a sort of an intraday trader and an expert in that, then of course, or a short-term positional trader, then of course you may be having positive expectancy from each month. But even then, there is no guarantee that you will be able to make your minimum threshold every month. There will be down days, there will be down months, there could be down years. This is all part of the trading business. So having that expectation that I will get so many thousands or so many lakhs or so many crores per month is putting an additional pressure on your mindset, which will cause you to break your rules and try to extract that much money from the market, in process of which you may actually end up losing more. So let the profits come to you naturally. Don't chase the profits unnecessarily to meet your target. A lot of people are watching their mark-to-mark trades, unrealized profit and loss all the time, and getting fearful about it, or getting greedy about it, or having emotionally some residue by watching that number, that oh, this much I have made, I must get out. So don't look at MTM, mark to market, or unrealized profit losses, because they are unrealized. You need to concentrate on your strategy. You need to concentrate on your execution of your strategy as per your design, and whatever outcome will come, whether profit, whether loss, whether big profit, whether big loss, was already a part of your design. So by executing a trade and then watching that profit causing you to change the trade, booking early or trailing the stop loss more aggressively, will cause you to get out of the trade prematurely. In some cases it may benefit you, in other cases it may harm you. So better to stick with your strategy, and whatever is the profit loss, you let it come, and you will see that you will be able to have much more confidence on your strategy. You will be able to scale your strategy, because when you are concentrating on your strategy and not worrying about how many lakhs or how many thousands you are losing or gaining, when you will go 10 times the scale on that same strategy, you will not get worried about the profit or loss, because you are not focusing on the profit loss. If you start focusing on the profit loss, let's say in a trade you make 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, 50 lakh rupees, whatever is that amount, it will have an additional burden on your mind that, oh, I have made 2 times of what I usually make, let me get out. So unless your strategy is a totally non-discretionary one, then it's a different matter. But discretionary one. But if in a non-discretionary strategy, do not look at all these MTMs. Or next point is embracing simplicity. You must have seen several charts that I keep putting up on Twitter, and there is nothing in those charts but price and volume. some trend lines, maybe some moving average, some maybe something like that. There cannot be a simpler chart than that. By complicating your chart or your system or your parameters that you are looking at, you are adding many more variables to your equation, and the complexity of your system will hurt you when you have to take decisions when you are standing against the wall in stressful situations. At that point of time, if you have to study 10 variables, 5 are talking in one language, 5 are talking in another language, and you have to take a decision, it will become very difficult. So your degrees of freedom should be minimum, and it should be a simple setup, simple strategy, which a fifth grader should also be able to understand and execute actually. So embrace simplicity, and you will have a much simpler, much more peaceful trading life. Making peace with losses. It is easy to say, but losses are always difficult. Yet they are a part of your trading life. That is also a reality. Unless you absorb losses as part of your routine trading journey, you will never be able to succeed. If you only want wins and profits, it can never work like that. Losses are a part of every journey. Yes, over time you will learn how to reduce them, how to improve your system so that you don't go into very deep losses, but they will still come. I have been in the markets for 25 or 26 years, although I'm not trading now, but for many years together, there used to be some few very good years and then one really bad year or really few bad months. And unless you have peace and accept that loss, your next few good years will also go bad. So this is something that you need to come to terms with. Another very important is not to seek thrill in trading. A lot of people are putting rockets and they are celebrating each win like a party. Trading should be a boring exercise, so that you are not getting overly excited or overly pessimistic about any one trade. If something goes well, yes, you can be happy, but don't link it to your adrenaline getting satisfied because of that thrill. It is not you're not in the amusement park, you are running a serious business. So for thrills, you go to the amusement park, watch or play some video games or something like that. But why you have to risk your serious money, your family's money, in doing thrill seeking? That is totally not fair actually. So remove this thought from your mind about thrill seeking and make it a boring journey. Yes, it is not so exciting, but I can tell you boring is the best. Boring trading, boring investing will make you the most money. So try to avoid thrills in that. So this is all I had in these two traders mindset series. These were all very known common issues, but by repeating these issues, some people at least we may get some new insights, and that is the whole purpose of these education series. So thank you so much for watching and have a good day. I'll see you in another video. Bye.